Hello. In the case of success of the La 14, two management models were identified. First, empowerment. La 14 understood that commercial processes were relevant but realized that its collaborators were a fundamental part. This is how they created corporate social responsibility programs to empower their collaborators, from training on product uses, advertising, labels, and sanitary registration, to make them perform more and more in their roles, thus providing clients with a respectful and complete training. Total quality. Equally support, skill, and work of the collaborator is organized as an important part of the growth of all the stores La 14. Further, its market share is given to coverage in the main cities of Colombia, with the ambition of occupying 47% of the market, offering variety and quality of products and consulting services.
Leaders' roles. Jaime Cardona, an exemplary leader since he always cared more about how his collaborators feel than how the store core collaborators perceive you as an exemplary brand that provides staff and dignified employment. This is not a leader goes only about the store. He hears people and gives them 2 or 3 little motivation. He is a leader who travels and moves it all his store, supervising of simply admiring what I would his not leader who should be reader carpenter. With the rivals to store, he always listening to his collaborator because he knows with his store owner will knows the consumer better that are on the first line of contact. Service people. La 14 is characteristic with the being very human brand is the human that the collaborator becomes good friend of the customer when a client who shopping. The exact friend the collaborator be one help him, and when the client cannot make his purchase, he calls to his great friend the collaborator to help him. Also with the client needs beauty, submitting very urgent works and things while he'll not be able to arrive. The calls the manager to tell him what an is or the take can wait for him a moment was a chosen to greet to make your purchase. This only happiness is Cali since the city is characteristic, very friendly and taking to know each other. The 14 steps. They also generated the 14 steps to improve is a service culture. 1. Honesty, achieve honesty in the activity carried out. 2. Work community, be responsible in the work environment. 3. Equanimity, be frank in decision making. 4. Regulation responsibility, identify with adequate compliance with legal and corporate regulation. 5. Prudence, be responsible in hiding information. 6. Transparency, be careful the administration of results. 7. Letting with respect and participation, recognition of outcome. 8. Coexistence, attributed to the construction and the adequate and healthy organization climate. 9. Excellence, motivates the maximum development of capacities. 10. Conflict resolution, about conflict of interest. 11. Tolerance, evaluate difference, sex inclusion and relationship dynamics. 12. Transparency, participate with collaboration process. 13. Compliance, censor in the implementation and control of the core acts. 14. The core responsibility, report and conduct against the principles of the organization.
Many of the supplier companies were born from former supermarket employees. The 14 thanks to the generosity of the maximum onward, Mr. James Cardona, who is very interested in his retired and even active collaborators starting their own business. 11 a married couple decided to stop at the door of the 14 supermarket to sell puff pastry, and Mr. James sacked them and proposed that the could sell inside the supermarket. This business become a coffee shop where customers meet to spend a while nice to chat with your friends and with the same collaborators. supermarkets, the 14 has an operation center called the Foundation the 14, where they carry out training programs for direct collaborators and suppliers. There is a good organizational culture that has allowed the 14 supermarkets to be what it is today, and that the shopping experience is memorable. Employees marry 14 because many have been working for this organization for decades, and thanks to this philosophy implements the personal improvement of these people. An example for this is Miss Fabiola, who came to the organization in 1974 as a young woman who is now administrator of one of the largest warehouses of the 14. To get to this point, she had to be disciplined and climb several positions and study motivated by Mr. Abril. The employees of the 14 are motivated by songs that were sent to be professionally produced with arrangements in the lyric to raise the spirits and guide motivation. In addition to this, the employees know that if they do their job well and have a lot of discipline, they can become managers of the point and hold management positions. Between 2010 and 2011, there were 700 jobs promotions, and to achieve this, a child called empowerment of 116 hours had to be taken, where the history and values of the company and in customer service are studied. There is always an investigation by managers to find out what their collaborators are up to and what concerns them. A plan was created there. The main theme was corporate values, and it was presented in at the cities where the 14 had branches. In the end, the characters liked them so much that they were used for future advertising campaigns, since their characters were workers of the 14 and the collaborators left of the empathy with them. All employees are trained in the Technical Institute of Education for Work and Human Development that is part of the foundation of 14.
According to the differential factor, Jaime Cardona's premises, it isn't about selling but about winning a customer. For this reason, they don't manage a fixed closing time of the warehouse. They prefer to expand the day so not worry people saying that the warehouse is going to close the doors soon. 2. Consumers have a preferred seller and designate one of them to make their market signs. They already know the brand and presentations that the user wants due to the trajectory and shopping experience in the market. What's more, they celebrate special dates with their clients, giving refreshment and are served with music and food. In addition to holding annual fees of more than 2 million pesos for the buyers that are broadcast on their television channels. To end, they work to strengthen the emotional and spiritual health of their employees' time. For them, a person who doesn't have strong internal values cannot serve the client well.
You want to be different, innovative, charismatic, responsible, kind, in addition to other human characteristics of both an internal and external company. It makes a company work perfectly in tune. Clearly, the intervention and management of a good leader makes the difference. It is very clear that the business human side must always be put above money. The company that does this is destined to be successful, and number 14 is a testament to this.